Oh, yeah.
He is, he represents so much to the New York radio market.
Yeah.
For having been first on ABC and now on NBC, not now, but for a long time on NBC.
Yeah.
And has some deep feelings about AM radio and radio in general.
That's right.
And about the end of the WNBC and the NBC radio empire.
Yep.
Bill Cullen, who was the first personality I ever heard on WNBC.
And I did not even know he
But it wasn't WNBC, it was WRCA at the time. He was the morning man back in the late 50s. Bill Cullen, who went on to do other things. Gene Rayburn, who worked here in the early 50s.
Yeah.
Gene Radio, what's the word? Okay, I'll try to match the words.
Yeah.
Ed McMahon, who did Fortune Phone on WNBC.
Yeah, that was before Star. That was the Star Search of radio.
Yeah, right. No, it's Fortune Phone where people could win money. Lee Leonard, who worked here back in the mid-'60s when... my era, the time that I got really into the station was back in 64 to 71 when Long John Nebel.
Yes.
Sandy Teller, who was one of Long John's right-hand man, will be here tomorrow.
Yep.
Bob Pittman, the program director for many years here, who... I think he was the one who initiated the WNBC. He was the guy who did that, right?
He initiated it. It wasn't his idea, but he initiated it. Believe it or not, that was that concept came from an intern that worked here.
Are you serious?
And if you want to know the full story, get Ann Grassi in here. She knows the whole story.
Can we get Ann to talk to us?
It was her
to put out her cigarette the first time.
Who
give me the commercial break.
With the Ann, and it was the reason was to delineate us from ABC, NBC, and ABC.
Yeah, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, unfortunately, the poor intern didn't get diddly from it, but you
where's
know.
Where's that intern now?
You'd have to ask Ann. She knows the story.
And also, Big Wilson will be with us tomorrow.
Come here.
Bob, I mentioned Bob Pittman.
All right, I'm sorry.
Larry King, who was not part of WNBC, but is such a major part of radio today.
Wants to be here.
Brad Crandall will be with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Another former morning man, Buffalo Bob Smith. Wolfman Jack. A former disc jockey here who's now program director of WCBS-FM, Joe McCoy.
What a guy.
Marv Albert, I talked to a little while ago, and he'll at least be on the phone with
Marv
us.
Albert.
A chance that he'll be in the studio.
So that'll be some show. So tell me the story of WNBC.
The way that story is partly true.
Okay.
The way you told it, Judy. You were right to remember my intern. There were several interns, and we put them to work on doing some research and calling around. We created a sample. And what we found out, this was Dale Pond's department.
Now, this is going back a number of years.
1978.
And Dale was brilliant.
Absolutely. And we decided we were going to bring the ratings up. Well, let's find out what's happening out there. What we were getting, the feedback we were getting was, when we asked what station do you listen to, they would say WABC. And then we'd say, well, who's on? And they'd be naming our announcers. So we concluded that meant that the second letter, A and N, was getting lost. And that, in fact, the listeners were listening to us. But when people were doing the rating books, they were telling them it was ABC.
Yeah.
So we put out a memo, Dale put out a memo, and we told all the DJs here and all the air personalities to emphasize that N. And, of course, nobody did it like Don Imus. And he kind of exaggerated that N, and that's where it all started.
But was it an intern who had the original idea?
It wasn't his idea, no. I think it was more Dale Pond's. It was the interns that did the research for Dale and myself.
Dale did the Twice As Many Winners deal?
That's right.
Which he initially did at WHN when I worked with him over there.
And that's why he brought me here.
Yeah, we worked together there, too.
Yeah, and I was crying a minute ago in there, so I'm leaving now.
Why? Stay in here and cry. It's a lot more fun.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, folks. It is your old weather friend Willard Scott for True Value Hardware, your store of first choice. Get the power you need with True Value alkaline batteries.
Let's
What was your last job?
CBS-FM.
Yeah.
Well, Joe's going to be here tomorrow, so I guess I'll just start talking to him.
And, gee, we should have invited every program director in New York to be here. Here are the latest from the WNBC. Did we do this yet?
No.
I've totally lost it.
Let's do it, sure.
I'm going to be a basket case tomorrow. You're gonna have to carry me tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to carry you tomorrow. Okay, I'm such a strong person. I'm going to be able to do that.
With the latest from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network, here's Judy D'Angelo.
Yep, here I am. And And here we are with the traffic. Eastbound on the Cross Bronx Expressway. It is a slow go from the GWB to the Major Deegan Expressway. There is a stalled vehicle in the right lane. Volume continuing to be slow approaching the Sheraton Expressway. The westbound side sluggish between White Plains Road and 3rd Avenue, and again from Jerome Avenue to the GWB. Outbound Gowanus Expressway heavy but moving from the Battery Tunnel to the Verrazano Bridge. The inbound side slow through the Prospect Expressway. Westbound traffic on the Staten Island Expressway slow for 1 mile approaching Tote Hill Road. Over in New Jersey, the northbound western spur of the turnpike is sluggish approaching interchange 16W. There is a truck and car accident blocking the center lane. Also, watch for a 2-car accident on the ramp. Only the right shoulder is open there. In Queens, eastbound LIE bumper to bumper from the BQE to the Elmhurst gas tanks. There's some earlier construction that's been going on. Outbound Holland and Lincoln tunnels, a 5-minute wait inbound of both tunnels, and at the GWB, there are minor delays only. And we will be back in 20 minutes with more traffic and transit on WNBC.
And David, my new houseboy, is with us as well as Elena, Judy DeAngelis. Let's go to our telephones. Tomorrow, it's an incredible show tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wish I could pre-record it and cut out all the tears. Which would bring it down to about a 2-minute show.
It's true. It'll be good to have all those people here because someone will be able to pick up the ball when we when we are in the corner sobbing hysterically.
Now, you've been here for how many years?
Over 7.
Over 7 years.
As a matter of fact, I have worked here longer than I've worked at any radio station.
And it'll probably,
No, that's true.
Now, do you have, and I'm sure that you can answer this any way you want. I'm sure people would want to know what your future plans are going to be.
Well, I would love to be able to say what they are. At this point, things are a little bit up in the air. I'm lucky enough to have, some offers, and I'm mulling those offers over. And, I guess that I will, at some point surface somewhere.
Thank you for narrowing that down for us,
I thought, I certainly hope that it's sometime in the future, maybe our paths will cross again. I've been in this business.
We'll have lunch.
Yeah. I've been in this business a long time. I've worked with a lot of people who have come through these doors. Certainly I've worked with a lot of people here in the afternoon, and actually all the different time slots here I've done street reporting and everything here. I've worked with some of the lesser known names, and I've worked with, names that are considered the biggest in the business right now, and I can honestly tell you, and I know this is going to get to you, so, here, have some tissues, that there is no one that comes even close to your caliber. And I've worked with the best.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, no, I have worked with all of them, including Howard Stern and all the rest of them.
That's very kind, but
you are. No, I'm not taking anything away from him. Don't get me wrong.
No, but you're beautiful, babe. I mean that.
But you are.
No, but you are beautiful. No, seriously.
Shut up and let me finish. You're without a doubt,
Yeah.
to my mind, the most talented, and I know that you will surface someplace. I'm not sure where.
Club 97 is
and
looking pretty good.
I certainly hope that when you do, you will, allow me to continue to tag along on your coattails.
Huh? Coattails. What are you, George Bush? Come on.
No, I just would like everybody to know that you are as nice a person off the air as you are on the air.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're very talented.
People don't understand that we do show business here every day. We do theater. What we do on the air is a show, and while, that we say things that we mean, we do it theatrically.
Yeah. But I really have enjoyed it. You've certainly made the last few months here very enjoyable for me, and I know for a lot of people who are listening.
Beautiful.
And for all those people who have said nasty things about you, well,
here's your chance to call up and take it back. Right? And say I was only kidding.
I don't know where they're going to go. I hope it's to hell, but wherever it is, they won't have Alan Colmes to kick around
but they will,
anymore.
Because I'm not going away.
No,
I'm going elsewhere.
I know you are.
Perhaps another time slot.
I understand that.
WNBC.
Hello.
Hi.
I want to wish Alan Colmes a successful career, and I want to let him know I'm sorry he's leaving.
Well, I'm not, again, I'm not leaving. The station's leaving.
Oh, why?
Well, why is the station leaving?
Yes.
Because a corporate decision was made by the parent company, General.
Your fans couldn't get them to fight for you?
It's so far beyond anybody in the radio division. There's really nothing to do with radio. It has to do with the corporate entity, General Electric, deciding it didn't want to be in the radio business anymore.
Oh, well, they're really going to miss you. Hope to get you and Roz together again very soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Me and who? What? Roz?
Okay.
You know, it's so far. The fact is that there's nobody in the radio division we have any bones to pick with. It's not radio.
No,
It's not.
certainly.
This isn't a decision made
you know.
by people who breathe air so thin that you get nosebleeds up on those floors. WNBC.
I hate you.
Oh, this is the guy who loved me. Then he liked me. Then he disliked me, and you finally weaned yourself, huh?
I hate you bad. I don't want to see you no more.
But you used to want me and love me and desire me.
I still love you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. By the way, we will be taking phone calls tomorrow as well with some of our guests. But
Yeah, that's very true.
This is the last time just the nuclear family gets together.
Yes, so to speak, before we blow up. We have that nuclear
Or
explosion.
Jimmy Carter would say the nuclear family.
That's right.
WNBC.
I think I've got a piece of brain lodged in my head.
Thank you, Dan Quayle.
Hey! How about that debate, huh?
We talked about that with Jim Marsh.
Yeah, we don't want to belabor a dead horse.
Yeah, you know, if Dan Quayle stood on his head, maybe the blood would then be in his brain. I don't know. It's just... WNBC. Hello.
Alan,
Yeah.
listen, I want to thank you and Judy, and I want to thank Elena. You put up with a lot of me.
How much of you do we put up with?
Sometimes my calls have been serious. Sometimes my calls have been a goof.
Which of the goof calls have you done? Who are you?
Well, that thing about throwing the garbage can through Bergdorf, that was for real.
Okay.
But, and I was a wrestling guru.
Yeah.
Richie, the wrestling guru.
Yeah.
And, the beers just ain't gonna go down the same without you.
The beers are not going to go down the same way?
Oh.
Well, then maybe you'll get rid of that belly, okay?
You know that.
Okay.
Listen, take it easy, Alan.
Thank you very much. Huh?
It's interesting to hear from the people who were the various characters, you know?
Yeah. Hello.
Alan.
Yes.
I just want to say that you've inspired me a lot in my own radio pursuits. I've copied my timing off of you, and I can't read copy straight.
Well, I physically cannot read copy. And I once did, I once did all news?
No.
I swear to God, I was doing the afternoon show, and I was program director at WNHC in New Haven, which is now playing urban music. It's a black station. And, but at the time I was...
You did all news.
But at the time they did all news in the morning, and I occasionally would fill in for the morning newscaster, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it straight. I couldn't do it straight. I don't have anything. Hello.
I can't do the news straight either.
Yeah.
Because of you. Just one more thing. If you ever need to get a media fix, you can come on my show anytime.
Where's your show?
It's college radio.
That's looking pretty good to me right now. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Whenever.
Thank you.
All right.
Breen.
Could you throw the phone just one more time?
What's the matter, Mike? You don't want to work tonight?
No, I'm not going to. This phone is literally coming apart, and I think one more. If I blew on this phone, you wouldn't have it for sports night
It
tonight.
would mean a lot to me.
Really?
Yes.
I really like Mike Breen.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw it, you can just kind of push it a little bit.
Someday when Mike reaches puberty, he'll be a hell of a broadcaster. All right.
Your shoes.
Just a little bit, okay? Here we go. You there, Mike? Mike, here we go.
That was for you, Mike.
Thank you. Still there?
No, he's gone. It is amazing. Without getting maudlin.
Oh, please, come on,
quick 10
Judy.
seconds.
Judy, I can't. No, please.
No. Okay, to hell with it. No,
What?
I was just going to say that this is a very classy group of people, all of them, not just you and David and Elena and Melinda and myself and everyone else, but everybody at this station who has known that this transfer is going to take place all summer.
We've known since January.
No one has jumped ship. Now, of course, there was a lot of severance involved for people, so there was a
I'm under contract. I'm under contract. I can't go anywhere.
But I would just like to say to all the people who may or may not be listening in their offices right now, and damn it, you better be, that I was just talking about this with Laura Gadis over in Promotions before, and it's just an amazing group of people. You're all freaking classy people. That's all I got to say. And I thought that was pretty beautifully put myself, okay?
You got a lot of friggin' class.
You got a lot of freaking class, you know? From the general manager, Peg Kelly, down to the low man on the totem pole.
Right up
probably me.
Right up to Janie. It's me.
You know?
From Janie right there all the way down to Peg Kelly.
God bless you all, and I wish you I wish you all the best. And come on, let's start a radio station at my dad's garage, okay?
Let's put on a show.
All right.
We're Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. Come on.
That's right. Damn it, I'm not going to be sad. I'm going to be happy. Because we're going out in style.
Not here, but at some point we hope to do that. So, Brent, why are you so quiet?
You haven't asked me anything, huh?
So, David, what do you think about the greenhouse effect?
Yeah, right. You think nuclear war will happen in our lifetime, David? Yeah. What about forest fires?
I'm against them.
Die right this second.
That's right. David, if you had to take over this show because Alan was assassinated, what would be the first thing you'd do?
Call a meeting.
Pray and then you call a meeting.
Yeah, I'd pray.
Dan Quayle, I mean, give me a break. Give me a break with this lunatic. Is it scary that this man stands maybe 5 weeks away from having a good chance of being a heartbreak away from the most powerful...
Freudian slip?
That was a Freudian slip. A heartbreak away.
Yeah.
It's scary. I mean, even Elena, who disdains politics and hates when we talk about serious topics on this show, thought that this was the funniest thing she ever saw in her life last night.
It was. Yeah.
And Elena hates this stuff.
I got to tell you, Elena, I'm going to miss showing up in the ladies' room because your bladder and my bladder has been on the same schedule for 7 years. And I'm going to miss running into you in the ladies' room. Elena and I obviously drink coffee at the same time.
What you do is in radio, you have learned how to take 4-minute and 30-second bathroom breaks.
That's it.
You've got a time.
That's it.
You've got a time. You know, your body just knows when it's time to get up and move back into the studio.
I see the stall door open and I don't even know who's in there. I go, hi, Elena, and I hear, how you doing?
Even at home, I go to the bathroom every hour on the hour. I don't know what this is in my personal life. WNBC.
Yes, Alan, I don't know why anyone thinks John Hinckley's nuts. Anyone who wanted to kill Raisin and bop Jodie Foster can't be insane.
This is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to stay in this business.
Bye, Alan.
Thank you very much. You know, sometimes the truth hurts, and that's very funny. It's callers like that that make me love radio graffiti. WNBC.
Alan.
Yeah.
I can't believe I got through. All these years I've been calling, I made it.
You mean you've gotten a busy signal until today?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah?
Listen, I think what you should do... Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, what you should do is...
You better keep checking that, too, because we can be gone in a second.
No, all these people that you keep bleeping out, let them get through tomorrow. Let them say what they have to say over the air.
No, look, I'm still not going to compromise the license of a company. I mean, I still have a career, believe it or not, and it's not over. My career's not over tomorrow, and I'm not going to try to help it be over.
Listen, I think you should call Howard tomorrow.
We've already been to this. We've invited him.
No. He wants to buy some of the tape decks and things.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Well, let him make an offer. We've invited him to have him here. I think it was classless the way he approached the topic. And it's a shame that he can't let his guard down for one day and be a mensch. Thank you. 436 at WNBC. And wake up, New York, New Jersey, and Westchester, and Long Island, to amazing savings on America's #1 selling mattress, the Sealy Posturepedic. Dial-A Mattress has slashed their prices on an incredible selection of Sealy bedding, and you can save up to 60% off department store regular prices. Wait till we get to this line. Now, you can. By the way, I'm very glad for my association with Dial-A Mattress because I'll be needing a place to sleep. And listen, can you bring within 2 hours? They get the mattress there within 2 hours. Can they get to Central Park in 2 hours? That's what I want to know.
And can you drive on the grass to bring it to them?
They're the largest selection of Sealy mattresses and box springs in the area.
Yeah.
And they specialize in service.
Yes.
Just call them anytime, Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Place your order, and within 2 hours, you'll have a Sealy delivered to your home or wherever you want it to be.
That's true.
Pay the driver after you've approved the mattress. And if for any reason you're not satisfied, the driver will take the mattress back for a limited time. Now, listen to me very closely on
I'm
this.
listening.
When I say limited, I'm talking about a capital L at this point. You buy any Sealy Posturepedic set, just mention WNBC. And you better, I mean, you know, we're talking 5:30 tomorrow. You'll get a luxurious set of Cannon sheets and pillowcases, a $60 value, absolutely free. Your new Sealy bedding is just a phone call away. So for superior service and extraordinary savings on Super Sealy bedding, from the 212-201 or 516 area dial mattress.
Yeah.
MATTRES. Leave off the last S.
For savings.
Savings. And it's 4:37 at WNBC.
When Sears brings you a value like this, we call it a great item. Imagine a 19-inch cable-ready color TV with on-screen readout of time and channel, 17-key remote control, precise quartz tuning, and more. Now imagine all that at a price like this, just $258. You save $91. Right now, Sears can bring you a TV with all that for $258, only through Saturday. Look for Sears' great item stamp of approval, now at Sears.
Long Island Savings Bank, we're helping people like you from generation to generation. Bankers, neighbors, and friends.
Imagine your dream house. You know, the one with the fireplace, the chef's kitchen, the deck, the pool. Imagine having your own business or putting your kids through school without worrying about tuition. Imagine a home at the shore or in the mountains. With a low-rate Equity Power loan from Long Island Savings Bank, you can get the money for just about anything. Borrow up to $300,000, depending on the equity you have in your home. You're protected by annual caps and a lifetime ceiling. What's more, you can choose a no-income check option. All or part of your interest may be tax deductible. Ask your tax advisor. For more information on Long Island Savings Equity Power, call 1-800-THE-LISB.
Everybody in the home center business spends a lot of time boasting about how low their prices are because they know homeowners shop around for the best deals. We're Pergament. We don't boast. We don't brag. All we do is offer you a guarantee that Pergament has the lowest prices on everything for your home. If you see an ad for another home center and a miracle happens, they actually have something for less than Pergament. Bring the ad into any Pergament. Our guarantee guarantees that we'll beat that price by 5%. The moral of the story, shop Pergament with confidence. Confidence that our $149 price on a 9-foot indoor extension cord is the lowest anywhere. Confidence that our $29.99 price after rebate on First Alert infrared motion detectors is the lowest anywhere. Confidence that at all 40 Pergaments, including the new mega home centers in Middle Village, Queens, North Brunswick, and Spring Valley, you'll be getting everything for your home at the lowest prices. We guarantee it.
Judy DeAngelis, snap out of it. Has the latest in the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network.
I love you. Eastbound LIE bumper to bumper from the BQE to the Elmhurst gas tanks. It is all due to earlier construction. Eastbound Grand Central Parkway, it is sluggish, passing LaGuardia Airport and again from Jewel Avenue to Kew Gardens. Outbound Holland and Lincoln tunnels, a 5-minute wait inbound at both tunnels, and at the GWB there are minor delays. The Transit Authority here in the city reporting due to signal trouble, there is no R service in both directions from 57th Street to Queens Plaza. Also, there is no B or N service in the same area. Eastbound traffic on the Cross Bronx Expressway slow from the GWB to the Major Deegan Expressway due to a stalled vehicle in the right lane. Volume continuing to be slow approaching the Sheraton Expressway. The westbound side is sluggish between White Plains Road and 3rd Avenue and again from Jerome Avenue to the GWB. Eastbound Grand Central Parkway sluggish passing LaGuardia Airport and again from Jewel Avenue to Kew Gardens. We'll be back in 20 minutes. Maybe, with more traffic and transit. No, we will.
The Hells Angels will be with us later this afternoon.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you better get control of your emotions because they're going to come in and they're going to beat the patootie out of you because they're going to say, oh my God, look at this guy. He's wiping away tears. Let's beat him to a pulp.
Do you think the Hells Angels are sensitive to the ending of WNBC?
Oh, yeah. About as sensitive as they would be to smashing your head in it.
I was a little concerned when Butch Garcia, I think, maybe it was Bob Maganzi who called us yesterday and wondered if he could bring his motorcycles up to the second floor. Now,
sure, tell them absolutely.
I felt that was maybe they wanted to bring their motorcycles into the studio.
And tell them the equipment's up for grabs. They can take whatever they want.
No, do not. All Hell's Angels all the time.
You going to be the one to stop him?
Well,
No, sir. I wouldn't take that cart machine if I were you.
I just want to make friends with these guys before, while I
That's a
show
good
them a
idea.
chance.
It's a good idea.
The feds are trying to repossess their headquarters on East 3rd Street because they've been convicted of, some of them have been convicted of drug offenses.
Yeah.
And we'll be discussing this with the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
I'll be asking them about some of the allegations against them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll have some eloquent and sensitive answers.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, and after they punch my face in. So I may be crying tomorrow for a different reason. Tomorrow...
Instead of just being blue tomorrow, you'll be black and blue.
Tomorrow we're going to do, some people might consider it self-indulgent, but if you've ever listened to this radio station, I think you'll really appreciate the show we have for you tomorrow.
How could you
To give
not?
us an overview of the whole thing, Cousin Brucey will be with us in the studio.
That's right.
Mike Harrison, who is the president of H&H Broadcasting, one of the first editor of Radio and Records, consultant to Billboard magazine, a pioneer in progressive rock, coined the phrase AOR, and is now an executive officer of a company involved seriously in AM radio. Will be here to give us the perspective as kind of a color commentator on the whole thing. And joining us as special guests will be people who've made this station great over the years. People like Cousin Brucey, as I mentioned. Bill Cullen did the morning show and it was WRCA. Gene Rayburn did the morning show here back in the early 50s. Ed McMahon did the show here once.
Yeah.
Lee Leonard, who was part of the Conversation Station in the mid-60s. Big Wilson, who was number one middays. They fired him, and then the ratings came out. He was number one. Bob Pittman, who was the program director, went on to found MTV.
That's right.
And create the Morton Downey Show. We'll be here, warts and all. He will be here actually with us by phone. Larry King will be calling in, not so much because he was involved with NBC, because he wasn't, but because of his stature in the marketplace. And,
Larry King calling in live from Washington.
Hello. And, hello, Al. Hello. Get to the point. So, we're going off the air, Larry. Get to the point. I think he will give us an overview of radio. Brad Crandall, for many years, a fixture on this radio station. Buffalo Bob Smith did the morning show here before he began the Howdy Doody show.
The list is almost endless.
Wolfman Jack will be talking to us tomorrow.
Amazing.
Joe McCoy, now with CBS FM, a disc jockey here at one time. Marv Albert, who did the sports talk show here at one time, and was sports director of WNBC. It's incredible, the list of names who are affiliated with this radio station.
By the way, I think you should let everybody know that your time slot tomorrow is going to be just a little bit different.
Thank you for saying
because,
that.
people are going to tune in at 3 and say, well, wait a minute, it sounds like he's been on the air for a while.
There's going to be a special at noon, which Dale Parsons has produced, with sound bites from over the years, WEAF, WRCA, WNBC.
Right.
And then at 1:30, following that special, we'll go on the air to do from 1:30. They couldn't give me a break. They couldn't give me a short show one day. No, I got to do 4 hours. That's right. Your contract's 4 hours. So, but I'll be on from 1:30 to 5:30.
Yeah.
And then at 5:30, WNBC will sign off the air forever, and we'll go out to Shea Stadium, when it will become WFAN,
That's
and
correct.
Pete Franklin and Don Imus will be at Shea Stadium. Traitor.
Yeah.
And that will be the end of WNBC.
He's got to do what he's got to do.
And the dismantling of the NBC. This is not the end. This is not just the selling of a radio station.
No, that's very true. There's a lot more to it than that.
This is. I can't do it.
All right. Well, you don't have to. I mean, the point is that it's basically the end of a radio dynasty. This has been an operation that's been going on since the 1920s.
1922. 66 years.
Started out as WEAF. Became WRCA because we are in the RCA building.
So it became WNBC, became WRCA, and then went back to NBC.
Yes, NBC. And basically, it is people who have worked at other radio stations all around the country. Many of them have said that their goal was to work at WNBC. Even we have a sound bite of Cousin Brucey, who, as you know, worked at ABC for years when it was the mega station to work at. And he was lured over to WNBC and said this was where he always wanted to work. And I think a lot of people...
Me too.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I went out of my way to get fired at WABC to come here.
Yeah, I know you did. And I guess, it was safe that you ended up here.
This is a station where Toscanini played.
Yeah.
This is Studio 8H upstairs is where radio was practically invented.
And it's also the studio upstairs where Franklin Delano Roosevelt used to do his fireside chats when he was
Right.
in New York. As a matter of fact, the fireplace is still there.
On this radio station.
Yes, on this radio station, absolutely.
Which was the
It
flagship.
has a history that is goes back. Well, I mean, it's one of the originals.
Look at the lady that
It's an emotional time for everybody. There's no question about it.
Also tomorrow was Sandy Teller, who for 21 years, was a sidekick to Long John Neville.
Absolutely.
Who
Long John Neville,
I can't look at you, Elena. I'm really.
Elena, get out of here. Long John Neville, which is, I think, one of the people that you...
my hero.
Yeah,
I never met him.
Really...
I never met him, but one of the best nights of my life was when I was on WABC, and I did a tribute to Long John. We had Candy Jones on, and many of the people who were part of his show for years. Lester Del Rey and Sandy and Joe Constantino and a number of people who were part of Long John's panels over the years. And Kellen Gurley Brown. And we paid tribute to Long John, and he is just an original.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people have patterned themselves after him, through the years. But he's oft imitated and never duplicated, as the saying goes.
I would say I patterned myself after him. I've never consciously patterned myself after anybody, because you learn after a while.
You find your own stride.
You know who'll be here? Also, Ted Brown. I used to pattern myself after Ted Brown. After Ted. What am I saying? I'm thinking like my mind. My head is swimming. I used to pattern myself after Ted Brown because he was my hero at one time when he was doing afternoons at WNEW, and then he came over here. Now he's back on WNEW. Also, Bob Fitzsimmons will be here tomorrow. I'm remembering names now. But Ted Brown and I used to think that you used to get on the air and that this is what hey Ted Brown. He used to have this smile in the voice. And then after a while, you realize as you evolve as a broadcaster that you're yourself. You be what you are. But those influences never go away.
Yeah. Well, that's true. It's very true.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Alan.
Yes.
Well, after Monday, it looks like it's back to General Hospital in Donahue.
Yeah. People who breathe next Donahue.
Bye-bye, Alan.
Thank you. I think Donahue's running out of topics, People with skin next Donahue. WNBC.
Al.
Yeah.
Thanks for the good times, babe. We're going to miss you.
You're beautiful.
Okay.
Love those shoes, babe.
See you later.
Thank you. WNBC. Hello.
Yeah, Alan.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for the last year.
Thank you.
I don't agree politically with anything that you say. I'm totally on the other side of the spectrum. But you've made this a very enjoyable year. I have a lot of anger towards NBC.
Well, it's not NBC, it's GE.
No, I understand, but, it's the way that the progression happened. They yanked the other two guys off the air after they got us accustomed to listening to them.
All right, let me tell you something. This is unlike yanking a couple of guys off the air. This is not that. This is not what this is about. This is not NBC saying, Colmes, we don't like you. You're not doing the job for us. Whatever. This is a corporate decision made at a level that I've only read about.
Is there any chance you'll be in New York?
Oh, there's a very good chance. Very good chance.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to miss you.
What, you're leaving New York?
No, I'm just very sad that you're leaving New York.
Okay. Thank you. I wish I could, just pick everybody up and take them along with me.
No, you don't. When you wake up tomorrow in the cold light of dawn, you'll realize that what you said today, you don't mean this.
It's true. Thank you. Thank you for setting me straight.
No, I'm only kidding.
Thank you so much for keeping me honest, Judy. WNBC.
Hello, Lizard Man from Hartford, Connecticut.
The Lizard Man.
Yeah, I realize that you really are going off the air here, in the chance that I may not get a chance to say this again. I've been listening for several months here. And as you've been talking to like Karen Finley and some of those performance artists and people.
Phoebe Legere. Why would I bring up her name? Yes.
That's right. The piano player.
Yeah, she's a piano player.
Singing in a French voice.
Yeah.
And she can tickle your ivories anytime.
That's like calling Julia Child a cook. Go ahead.
You guys should consider yourselves not necessarily in that league, but as artists, very much, I think, as much as innovative musicians or anything.
Well, that's very kind of you, and I'm glad you said. I've explained to Phoebe Legere, when I first met her, as we were getting acquainted during a break, when she did the show the first time, that I try to take this medium and play with the boundaries a little bit.
Absolutely. You're painting the airwaves.
And, graffiti. But I consider myself an artist, and some people would differ with that.
No, not at all.
But this is my canvas.
Absolutely. And God bless you all.
Thank you.
Okay, I wish we knew wherever you go.
Now, cut it out, Elena.
And if you are a great artist, let's just hope that they don't decide how great you are after you're dead.
Putting up a wall between me and Elena. Every time I look at her, I start to lose
Elena,
it.
go sit over in the corner.
Now, tomorrow, you're going to be over here.
You know, it's really hard for me to keep him on the straight and narrow here.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm about ready to go any second, and I'm biting.
You're going to be the Rock tomorrow.
I have teeth marks in my tongue to keep myself from crying. So get out of here.
Were you a listener to this station back when you were a kid?
I have
many years ago.
Yeah, I was a radio dial twister. I mean, I would go back and forth between, I grew up with ABC and The Good Guys and MC. I mean, I grew up with all of that.
See, my contemporaries.
Which is amazing because I'm only 25. But
Would you listen to Winds when it was a music station?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
And MCA, The Good Guys. I see, most of my friends would listen to The Good Guys and the All-Americans. The Good Guys and MCA and the All-Americans and ABC. And I was not into rock and roll. I didn't like rock and roll music.
I think we knew from early on you were different.
Thank you. And
well, I mean that in a loving way.
Yeah, I hate you, but I say that because I love you. And I just was attracted to the variety of this radio station and the personalities. If there's any thread of consistency through NBC over the years, and it's gone through many incarnations, it has always been a station that's had stars in it.
Sure.
That had major it was personality radio.
Absolutely.
Whether it was a disc jockey who was a personality, like a Joe McCoy who'll be with us tomorrow, or like a Cousin Brucey.
Yeah.
Or whether it was a talk personality like Brad Cranlow, Lee Leonard, or whether it was an entertainment personality, or someone who combined both like a Howard Stern. It was a personality radio station.
Yeah.
And it's always been a station that was sensitive to personalities.
Yes, for the most part, I would say, yes.
And created an environment where that kind of creativity could grow. And that's why I've always wanted to work here.
And so you have. So at least you got that on your resume.
Now what?
Bigger and better things, my friend.
Rise with that? 453 at WNBC.
Well, we're here at Red Roof Inn, and we're talking now with
Peggy McGee.
Peggy McGee. I want to talk to you about some of the men you've had up in your room here at Red Roof Inn.
Oh, lots.
Like Mel Gibson. What was Mel like?
Fantastic. Sexy body.
What about Charles Durning?
Charles Durning's a little conservative for me.
We're talking about the free movies you get here in the rooms at Red Roof Inn. What about Peter Falk? He was on the other night.
I didn't catch him.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you want a nice, clean, comfortable room and free movies, hit the roof, Red Roof Inns. Who are you going to have up in your room tonight?
Harrison Ford.
Ooh.
In the North Sea stands an oil rig. Here, 80-knot winds and 70-foot waves are not uncommon. And a helicopter landing is often a risk of human life, if it can land at all. Which is why there's a fax machine on the rig. On the machine is the name Marada. This fax moves drilling maps and production figures in seconds, which otherwise might take weeks. You'll find this in less hostile environments all over the world. But few places say as much about fax machines from Marada.
Clive Barker. They call him a master of horror. The new Stephen King. Hold on to your sanity. Clive Barker is back, and there's no escape from Weave World. Weave World. An epic adventure into darkness and light, magic and madness. Stephen King says, I have seen the future of horror, and Clive Barker. See it for yourself in Weave World. Now in paperback from Pocket Books.
What do we have here? What is this?
I don't know. Delivery
Is it ticking?
Dropped them off.
We have some packages here?
Stethoscope them and
What is this?
I don't know. Here's a card or something on this one.
Okay.
You know, Alan,
we have some packages have just been delivered. Is that ticking?
Oh, God. I don't know.
All right. What is this? Let me see.
No, but it came with an air hose.
What is this? This is from dear Alan Colmes. I'm a 33-year-old virgin. I've never seen the naked buttocks or lust organs of a man. Here's how my female charms look like, and there's a picture of this woman, of a naked woman. No. I'd like you to be the first to look upon. Could you send me a photo of your...
Wait a minute, is it... Oh, wait, she's got a blue ribbon on. What Westminster... Whoa!
Westminster Kennel Club, yes.
Prize,
Will you please send me a photo of your... What? Maleness? So I can see it. You have a hairiness... So I can see if you have a hairiness like me, very articulate, some crayon, Or am I the only one publicly hairy and they show what part this person is hairy in?
Yeah.
Gina
Lola Brigida.
Gina Ganola. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
This was attached to which?
Yeah, it's all three together. This one says you have to open up last. I hope it's not a life size of this.
Well, I'm not going to have time to open this on the air, I don't think.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm real sad about that.
Let me read you another letter I got today. This is great. Listen to this. Just to show that I haven't lost my touch, Judy. Listen to this. I got this letter.
Okay.
You're going to love this. Now let me tell you, this is what I'm going to miss.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to miss.
All right.
This is why, a guy like me needs a hot mic or, I shrivel. Dear Alan, I've listened to your program a few times. I have found your vain attempts at humor to be most offensive. Particularly your double entendres. Ooh, that's really offensive. I guess Carson must really bother this person also. As a proud gay American, I cannot countenance your reluctance to proclaim your true sexual preference. You have alluded to it, but you still choose to remain in the closet. Recently, you attempted to project a macho image by spurning your lover, Elmo. Alan, it will not work. Judging from the number of times Elmo has appeared on your program, there exists more than a platonic relationship. That must mean I'm also making it with Curtis Sliwa.
That's true. But of course, you would rather.
Probably.
Or
with
actually,
Lisa
I was just going to say
yeah.
with Lisa.
Also, there's most probably a romantic relationship between you and your caller, Steve.
No, that was guaranteed. No.
There exists an internal conflict within the subconscious of Alan Colmes. Lately, it has manifested itself in rather intense arguments between you and your female guests. Alan, this hatred for women will only continue to resurface and prevent the establishment of lasting relationships unless you resolve your identity crisis. There have been numerous court cases upholding the rights of gays, lesbians, etc. Do not fear reprisal from your employer.
Certainly not after tomorrow.
Affectionately.
Affectionately.
It's a guy named John Lambert.
So does this mean you'll next be appearing in a psychoanalysis office?
No, but at the Ramrod.
Okay.
Now, so this person honestly thinks I'm gay.
Well, you're certainly happy.
I'm in a good mood, but let's not get carried away with it.
Yeah.
WNBC.
Oh, Alan.
Yeah.
I too am at the opposite end of your political spectrum, but I'm going to miss you. And I want to ask you.
Yeah. Like, we're getting some bad signals here from your... It must be in a car phone, right? You still there?
Yeah. Hello, Sean.
Hello?
Sean.
No, Sean? Who are you calling? I think we got some... I don't know what's going on here. I didn't think they dismantled this place yet. I mean, listen, wait till tomorrow at 5:30 before you start taking the phones away. WNBC.
Alan, I'm really glad I got through. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed these past few months calling you up. It's really been a big thrill. And I'm really going to miss you.
Thank you.
And although this might be not be the very last time that I get through the radio,
it will. It will.
I'm going to make this my ceremonial last call.
Okay.
I've never had a beautiful out of you.
Beautiful.
I'd like one after this.
Okay, here we go.
This one thing of typical radio graffiti nonsense. Petticoat Junction.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've made that man's life. That's beautiful.
You know, we're not screening our calls today, again, and we have had nothing but positive calls today from our listeners.
You had to say that.
Yeah, right.
You had to say that.
I can say it because the Hells Angels will be with us right after the news. 5 o'clock at WNBC.
This is news from 66 WNBC, New York.
I'm Doug O'Brien. Here's what's happening at 5 o'clock. What's this? Barricaded nuns? 5 cloistered nuns remain barricaded in their Morris Township convent, fighting a church relocation order that resulted from an earlier protest against the introduction of such things as sweets and TV. A relative of one of the sisters says they're engaged in a vigil, not a protest. Saying cloistered nuns are barricaded sounds redundant, but the nuns have secured themselves in the infirmary. They say it's a conservative, liberal issue. New York Attorney General Robert Abrams says Tawana Brawley's lawyers are liars and should be punished for impeding a grand jury investigation and falsely accusing others of crimes. He says Vernon Mason and Alton Maddox issued at least 19 separate statements, knowing they were false. The Dutchess County Grand Jury has issued its report now on the case, saying officially it found it to be a hoax. Threatening noises from terrorists in Lebanon.
A Lebanese group claiming to hold 2 Americans hostage, Joseph Scipio and Edward Tracy, today threatened to harm them if the U.S., Israel, and other countries did not stop what the group called meddling in the Lebanese election process, the search for a new president there. The warning delivered to a news agency in Beirut was accompanied by a color photo of Scipio, and according to Lillian Degger at the NBC News Bureau in Beirut, should not be taken lightly regardless of similar threats in the past.
There has been in the past cases where hostages were killed, whereby the kidnappers wanted to make a point. And this time they're threatening the lives of Scipio and Tracy, and I think the Americans should take that seriously.
And all 4 candidates are back out on the road today, and everybody's taking credit for a win in last night's vice presidential debate. Polls lean toward Democrat Lloyd Bentsen, but at the same time seem to agree that Quayle did nothing to embarrass himself or seriously damage the Republican ticket. From the NBC Radio Network Newsroom, I'm Don Blair.
Connecticut's lemon law is legit. That from a Superior Court judge in Hartford. A coalition of automakers complained the statute was unconstitutional. The law says if in the first 2 years or 18,000 miles your new car is in the shop more than 30 days, or if the same defect isn't fixed over 4 tries, you get a new car. The commanding general of Fort Dix wants to ban smoking in every building on the base, all 15,000 of them. Major General James Werman is a cancer victim himself. If it goes on, it would be the biggest such ban anywhere. WNBC News Time, 5:03.
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time. What a perfectly splendid offer, I said. The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming, they said, but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off. Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
Time now for the Jim Brady Ad Age Marketing Report.
When I was a kid, you got a new pair of sneakers when school let out. They were high tops. They were usually Keds. They cost about $5. By the time school reopened in September, they were outgrown and full of holes. Things have changed. Today's sneakers cost $40 or $50. Famous athletes are paid a fortune to endorse them. The two heavy hitters are Reebok and Nike. For a couple of years now, Nike has been using Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, in those slow-motion TV commercials of Jordan seemingly suspended in midair. Nike sells about $1 billion a year in athletic footwear. Reebok is still ahead, but Nike has been catching up, and the Reebok ad campaign, Let You Be You, has some footwear retailers complaining. So Reebok went out to find its own Michael Jordan, Danny Manning of the Olympic team. Reebok pulled